My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Alright, so today I am filming my video about how I spent 2 gift cards at Sephora. I had these 2 gift cards, I'd been sitting on them for a while. One was actually a Christmas gift from a family member, it was for $50, and the other was a subscriber gift. It completely shocked me, actually knocked me off my feet on what was a very bad day. I remember actually I was having kind of a crummy day, and I believe something's going on outside, I'm sorry. I'll wait it out. Anyway, I feel like I don't just feel like it, I remember it. I was having a day that was bad. It was a low day for my ego. I was just feeling like crummy and unsuccessful at everything. I just remember feeling like I was, you know, not doing well enough at all the things that I'm trying to do and not having the impact that I'm trying to have. And I don't remember why, I don't remember what it was. It was probably like mean people on the internet, but I was having a bad day. But we all have those days. I mean, even when people aren't mean to you on the internet, I think we all have those days. I have my ups and downs. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing great and sometimes I feel like I'm not doing great and I feel bad about myself because of it. So it was one of those days and I opened my inbox that morning and there was this, it was just like someone had sent you a gift card. And I was like, who sent me a gift card? I was trying to think, like, it wasn't close enough to my birthday yet for a family to my, like, it just blew my mind that it was from a subscriber, from one of you. You know who you are. And I thank you so, so much. And I thank you actually not, I mean, of course, thank you for the gift card, but it's not really about the gift card. It's about the symbol, like it's about what it meant to me. And you guys know that I mean, a comment means as much to me, like a loving comment or a sweet note or a sweet email, like all of that means a ton to me. It's not like you have to send me a gift card to show me your appreciation. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that the timing of this and the impact of it and the amount of it, $100. I mean, all of it added up together. I just opened that email and like started bawling and I didn't know what to do. So this leads me to the actual contents of this actual introduction, which is to say that what happened was that I kind of freaked out. I had been sitting on this $50 gift card that was for Sephora at JCPenney, so I couldn't spend it. I actually didn't know that you could spend it online, so for a while I was like, when am I going to go to a JCPenney? So I'd had that for like months. And then I got this $100 and I was like, I had sort of I didn't know what to do. As someone who, I think I had spent nothing at Sephora, or, you know, I had bought one replacement brush head for my Clarisonic at Sephora so far in the year at that point. I hadn't made any real purchases at Sephora. And I was so trained by my budget to be in a state of austerity that the idea of having this $100 and knowing where it came from, I panicked a little bit. And what I did was I went onto my community tab and I wrote, and I'm sure many of you saw this, I made a poll and I was like, which of these 5 brand new expensive things should I buy with this gift card and review on my channel? Because I didn't feel right just using it to buy kind of stuff for myself. Like I did, for some reason in that moment, I was like, I want to buy something that's specifically only for the channel and not necessarily something that I've been wanting. And I think there was something about, it was like a kind of non-acceptance of the gift in a way. I was kind of like, okay, you've given this to me, but it can't really be for me. Like it can't really be for me, Hannah, to use on myself. It must be for the channel. Like it must be sort of like a tool. It must be that someone gave it to me as a tool to mobilize to enrich my channel. So I'm gonna spend it on something that I definitely wasn't planning on buying, but that I might be able to review that would help people decide whether it's worth it, or that would be entertaining content or fresh content, because I'm always reviewing like old stuff or niche stuff, or, you know, I never really review brand new makeup because I'm not buying brand new makeup. And I get sent a few things here and there from brands, but it's not like that. Like I'm not getting like the new Tarte palette or, you know, the new Marc Jacobs palette or something like that. I'm not getting those kinds of things sent to me, and I'm definitely not buying them. So I felt in my sort of weird madness that that must be what I should do. And it was I was actually a really extraordinary experience because what happened was a lot of people voted on the poll. It was really interesting. I think that the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Hollywood filter thing won by a hair over the Marc Jacobs Stiletto palette, which if you are still interested in the Marc Jacobs Stiletto palette, Samantha March just did a great review of it in her ranking of 5 eyeshadow palettes just recently. I'll actually put that in the cards right now, so I don't need to do it because she did it. She got me covered. So many of you voted and that was fun. It was fun to see the votes roll in, but then there were like 100 comments on that post and almost all of them said, Hannah, we are curious about what you would choose to buy. Like you were like, we don't want to choose. We want to know what you would choose. And that would be the most interesting content for you to put up on your channel. And it really was amazing. It was one of those occasions on which I felt like I had a really nourishing interaction with like you guys as a unit, as kind of like an entity, a friend, like a group that makes up a friend to me. And you showed me myself. It was like you were a kind of wisdom for me, or you brought me to a kind of wisdom about me and what I'm doing here. Because I think that my instinct to like buy the brand new Natasha Denona cheek palette and review it right away was this like, that's what YouTubers do thing. I was like, that's what any YouTuber would do. She would like buy this thing that just came out yesterday so that she could be one of the first people to review it. And I was like, that's what I should do. That's what this gift card is for. And then you guys were like, no, like we would rather see you buy what you want, use it for a while, and then tell us what you bought and review it. So that is what I'm gonna do today. And this intro, I feel like this is kind of the meat of the video because I've been talking about, this is really relevant. I don't know when the title card's happening now, but then I'm gonna talk some more before I tell you what the products are. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video, and then the meat is gonna be a lot like this intro already was. So thank you all of you who chimed in, for gently informing me that you would rather have a video of this type than just another video reviewing a brand new luxury makeup product. And thank you for helping me see that this video is also good for the channel, right? So I'm still using the gift card to make my channel more robust and to make interesting content. And this video is a direct result of that gift card. So the gift was indeed mobilized into content, and I'm excited about it. It's such a special thing to have had happen, and it was such a cool opportunity, and it was an interesting case study actually for me, because here's what I ended up doing. Over time, I considered just buying like my replacements. I considered just waiting and holding on to it and just using it every time I needed to buy something that I had run out of, because that would really help soften my budget. But I decided that I didn't want to do that. I decided I did want to haul a group of products with that gift card, and I did want to make one video, and I wanted to spend the gift card as a gift. I didn't want to spend it kind of as like a utilitarian boost that would just allow me to save my budget more easily. I wanted to spend it in the spirit that I consider a gift to have been given, which is that it's special. It's for something special. So I'm finally getting around to telling you that what I did is this. I bought 5 things that I wouldn't have bought with my money, or that at the time I thought I wouldn't have bought with my money. Now that I've tested them all out, I think that there's one that I would go back and spend my budget on, and I'll tell you which one that is as I get into it. So the first thing, and the thing that I kind of knew right away I would get when I decided how I was going to spend it, when I decided that this was going to be kind of like a luxury basics haul, is this beautiful baby right here. This is the Moroccanoil Dry Texture Spray, and this is my all-time favorite texturizing spray that I've ever tried. I like it because it's kind of gritty and sticky, but it's got a soft hold. So it's not like spraying crunchy hold hairspray into my hair, but it does really coat the fibers of my hair and make them almost gluey in a way. It's like they're gluey, but they still feel like hair. All during my no-buy year, I was like, as soon as my no-buy year is over, I'm gonna start buying that Moroccanoil product, and I'm gonna just buy it and use it up and buy it and use it up, and it's gonna be my one and only, my holy grail, and I'm gonna be so happy and my hair is gonna look so great. All during my no-buy year, that was how I felt. But then when I got to the end of my no-buy year and the budget began and the reality kind of hit home once I had tallied up how much everything was costing me, how much all of my replacements were costing me, and I had hit rouge during my no-buy year just buying my expensive replacements, and I had realized that I needed to change my lifestyle completely, not just with the no-buy year, but beyond. When that all happened, this didn't make the cut. It's perfect, but it's too expensive. I think it's $26. I don't have the prices of these. I'm gonna look them up right now. Okay, so it's $28. It's $30. It's $30. That is a big bite out of my budget. And as much as I would like to think that I don't use this very fast, I do. I think I said, I just did my hair products declutter. I just filmed it yesterday actually. And I think that I said in that I use this once, like after I freshly wash my hair, and then I use it again the next week to kind of zhuzh up my hair. And just in like the day since I said that, I've realized that that's not true. I actually kind of reach for this every other day, I kind of like douse my hair in it right after washing to get it going. But then I'm constantly like just refreshing the grit. And it's partly because it's such a soft hold, like it stays, but it doesn't then weigh my hair down. I feel like I can keep using it to refresh the volume. I'm gonna go through it probably like in a couple months, I can imagine, and I don't wanna spend $30 every couple months. I don't wanna be spending $30 on such a staple product that I use so constantly and that I know that I'm gonna go through and have to keep buying and keep buying and keep buying. Products like that for me, I'm trying to find less expensive alternatives to my Sephora favorites. I love this. Like, I'm so happy to have this bottle. I feel so lucky. It feels like a gift. And it was a gift. I bought it with a gift card. I bought it with gifted money. So I feel like it was the perfect choice because when I see it, I'm like, ooh, I'm so lucky that I have this bottle that I get to use right now. It's like the gift card is lasting and lasting in my life because I chose this as one of the items that I wanted to buy with it. So here's the product that I purchased with the $50 gift card. This is the true epitome of a thing that I really love that's a luxury basic that I would no longer buy with my actual money. It's the Makeup Forever base corrector. So it's one of those Makeup Forever primers. They came out a couple of years ago with like a range of primers, and it's the green one. It's the color correcting one that's green. And it's so tiny. I have had this product before. I think it was back before I really started getting into YouTube, like before I really became a voracious consumer of beauty content. But I had been using primer for years and I needed a new primer, and I was in Sephora and I was sort of just misguidedly bumping around, like bumping into all of the displays and like looking for a primer. And I saw this and I knew that Makeup Forever makes good primers. So I kind of swatched it on the back of my hand and I was like, that one looks great, I'll take it. I didn't have the tools, or I didn't have the beauty education to weigh my options very well. I was a normal woman. I was a normal girl. And I was just like looking for a good primer, and I kind of grabbed the first one that came to hand. It was expensive, but I didn't really realize how expensive it was because I was sort of there to buy a nice primer and I wasn't like weighing it against a bunch of other different prices. I was just like, this one will do, this one is good, and so I got it. It's $37. It's $37. It's $40. This blows my mind. It's 1 fluid ounce. That's like the cost of a nice serum, like a nice, really nice skincare serum, but it's just a primer. And I loved using it at the time. I remember loving it. And then I think that a year or so later, I was sort of thinking, oh, I'd like to buy that primer again. And I saw it, and for some reason I had learned enough about beauty products by then that I saw how small it was and I saw the price, and it kind of clicked that it's really absurdly expensive. And this was even before my no-buy year. I was like, I'm not going to buy that again because it's too expensive. But I've always sort of lusted after it. There's something about it. It's got this smell that I associate with calming, because calming is one of its claims, but it's sort of a floral, creamy, oaty smell. And I'm trying to say the word oaty, like oats, O-A-T-Y, like mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy. Oats, oaty, because I think it might have oat as an ingredient. It has like skin calming ingredients in it. So it's kind of skincare-y. It's not a very silicone-y primer. It's more like a lotion-y primer, which isn't usually my preference, but this one definitely doesn't disturb my skincare. It melds with my skincare, it sinks in, and it leaves a completely natural satin finish. It's not dewy, but it's not matte, it's not mattifying, it's not pore filling. It just cancels out the redness, probably better than any redness reducing primer that I've ever had does. And in fact, when I use this, if I use enough of it, I kind of feel like I don't need to use a color corrector. And that was part of my thinking when I decided to spend that gift card on this. I was thinking that maybe it would color correct enough so that I wouldn't need to repurchase a separate green color corrector when I ran out of my one from Lancome, which I had almost at that time panned. But it doesn't do enough on days when I'm really red. It's just fancy. It's fancy. I would never buy it with my own money. I don't know what to say. Well, I can't say that I don't know what to say because I've just talked for like 10 minutes about this. So I do know what to say. The last thing I have to say, the summary, is that I think this is an awesome product, and I would never recommend that anyone spend the money on it unless that person is wealthy. Like, if money is no object and you deal with redness, go for it. This is so interesting. This is so interesting. And again, I feel like this is the epitome of a product that I would have been unwilling to spend my budget on, because it's really useful to have and I like having it, but it feels luxury in a number of ways. It feels like it's extra in my collection. And I've been reaching for it a lot, and I am going to use it up, and then I won't purchase it again after that because of the price point. But it's such a special treat to have right now, similar to the dry shampoo, similar to all of this stuff, or not dry shampoo, but the texturizer, similar to all of this. Like, you guys are getting the gist, I think. This is the Hourglass Veil Retouching Fluid, and I mentioned on my channel a while back that I was looking for like a concealer, no concealer, like a no concealer kind of thing. I was looking for something to use on extremely fresh, no makeup skin days, which is most of what my skin days are. Am I making any sense right now? That's how I usually do my skin, is I don't ever want it to look like I have base makeup on. This seemed like it might be kind of amazing. You know, they bill it as a retoucher. It's not really billed as a concealer at all. And some of you in the comments were even like, it's not a concealer, don't get it, it's not a concealer. But I went down the rabbit hole with research about this one. I watched as many YouTube videos as I could find, which there weren't very many people showing like putting it on. And I also watched the little video of the Makeup Forever kind of makeup artist using it and showing that she does use it as just a base product on no makeup days, as well as using it as a touch-up product. So it became clear to me that it can be used that way. Like, it's not like I'm way out in left field buying it to use it that way. The one problem with this product, and probably the reason that I wouldn't like lean on it as my one concealer, is the shade range. It's not light enough for me. And I went to Sephora, I swatched it, I went to Sephora again, I swatched it again. This is another thing I didn't say in the introduction, but I went to Sephora once or twice over the several months during which I had the one gift card and then the month during which I had the other one, to try to spend them, and I couldn't. I got so overwhelmed, like sensory overload, and I had to leave. I went in and I swatched a bunch of stuff, and I got a bunch of samples. Like I got a sample of this, I got some concealer samples because I was considering getting a concealer type product. I think I might have even gotten a sample of this for a while before I decided to actually get it. I sampled the color corrector, but that was like all I could do. It was like I went in there and I was just like swatching, samples, and then I was like, I can't spend the gift card. I can't think straight in here. I'm overwhelmed. I need to get out of here. And that has never been my experience at Sephora. I used to be someone who could go into Sephora and just like melt into it for hours and walk around and make all my decisions and buy a bunch of stuff and you know, be momentarily happy with the fact that I'd spent my time and my money that way. And it was just so interesting that this was the first time since my no-buy year that I kind of like genuinely tried to shop, because I had these gift cards burning a hole in my pocket. I tried to shop at Sephora on January 1st, and I talked about that in my story time video about the first time I went to the mall after my no-buy year. I wasn't particularly dying to spend money on that occasion, but this time it was like I had this gift money to spend. I had this like non-money to spend. And still, so I was trying to ape my old behavior, and I couldn't do it. I had to go home and think about it for a really long time, and then I placed both orders online. So side note, I just thought that was really interesting. I've changed so much. My no-buy year changed me so much, and the budget continues to kind of hold fast to that change. Even with $150 in gift cards, I'm still in the grip of these changes. My review of this product is that I think it's awesome, and I wish they had a lighter color because it is exactly my skin tone pretty much. It's very sheer, so it's versatile. It sheers out a little bit, but it doesn't brighten my under eyes with color-wise and my chin, like where I put it, the high points. It doesn't make those parts of my face lighter than the rest of my face, which is what I look for in a concealer, in a liquid concealer like this. I want a little brightening, a little sculpting. This doesn't do that, but it does illuminate because it has some slight blurring and illuminating properties. So it's a very, very genuinely no makeup look, because sometimes I think that one of the things that can make me look like I'm wearing more makeup than I want to look like I'm wearing, even if it's very, very thin layers and very blended, is if I brighten my under eyes too much. So it's been interesting on days when I've used only this, I felt like it's just squeaking by, not being too dark, but it really does look natural on me because it doesn't provide any lightening or brightening. It just smooths out, it just blends into my skin tone. And it's an interesting product to have. I'm not passionate enough about it that I would go back and spend the $34 of my own money on this. Like I wouldn't do that. If we rewound and we removed the gift card from my life and I knew everything that I now know about this product, I wouldn't buy it with my money. But I am so happy that I have it because it's like a treat. It's so fun to use. I purchased this, I've talked about this in my lip declutter, with a gift card, and it is the Bobbi Brown Crushed Lip Color in the shade Bare. So I knew I loved this formula because I had a little sample size in a different color. I've talked about that several times before. I feel like I've talked about it several times. And I also feel like I've talked about this product several times now at this point. I feel like I've already reviewed it, but I'll do it quickly right now. It is the perfect balance between something balmy and something tenacious. So I don't like liquid lipsticks, too drying. I don't like that sharp line. I like a blotted, diffused, blurred, stained, natural, flushed, plumped, bitten look on the lips. But I also don't like products that don't last on the lips. I hate it when I put on a beautiful lip product and then an hour later it's gone. I actually want to feel that it's still on my lips. I want it to stay on my lips. I want it to be waxy and thick and tenacious and long lasting and pigmented like that. I want both. I want the best of both worlds. So I basically want it to feel balmy and look natural, but last like a lipstick does, like a pigmented lipstick. And this product, the Bobbi Brown Crushed, does all of that better than any product I've ever tried. This is the one out of all of them that I think I eventually would have bought with my budget. And if I had it to go back and do again, and you took away the gift card and I knew what I know now, I would buy it with my budget today. Like, it was definitely worth my actual money. And it's a real treat that I didn't have to spend my actual money on it. But this one would have been worth it. The other color I really like the looks of is Telluride, and for a long time I thought that was the one I wanted. But as I've been sort of decluttering my lips and thinking about lipsticks and thinking about what I want in my lipstick collection, I've realized that I have kind of an abundance of more dramatic and statement lips and a bit of a paucity of natural lips. And so I've been thinking, as I move into buying a lipstick here and a lipstick there, about focusing on the natural and adding to my collection in a mindful way the things that I don't have as much of and the things that I know that I'm going to get a lot of use out of. And this is that. I've just worn it. I've worn it nonstop since I bought it. I've taken such joy in it. I'm actually wearing it today, but it's blended with this Anna Sui kind of concealer lips color lipstick. This is the Anna Sui lipstick in F500, and it is so light. I mean, it's really, really like the color of my skin. It's really like a concealer stick, but it's in a really nice emollient lipstick formula. So I mixed both of these together, and that's what's on my lips today. Sorry, it doesn't really show you what this looks like on me, but you know, you could see the swatch, and I'll be wearing it in future videos for sure. This one is just the top. It is tops. It's my favorite thing of all of the things that I bought with these gift cards. And then lastly is a little thing that I just bought because I wanted to spend the whole amount. I really wanted to get it done. I didn't want to have like $7 sitting there on the gift card encouraging me to place another order at Sephora and get $7 off of my total, if that makes sense. I really wanted it to be like over and done with, and to be able to report back on every single dime of the gift cards that I spent all in one video. So I think I did have like $8 or $9 left of my total in the Sephora cart, and I was like, what could I get at Sephora for $8 or $9? A sheet mask or something? And I didn't like that idea. And then I remembered that The Ordinary has started selling at Sephora again. The Ordinary is back in Sephora. And there is one product from The Ordinary that I had a little bit left of at the beginning of my no-buy year, used it up, and then I couldn't repurchase it because it was like, it didn't make sense. Like I had other things in that category, and I missed it. And I had kind of forgotten about it until this moment where I was like, looking for something sort of to fill that last little gap. But when I remembered it, I realized that it would be a great buy for me and that I was super excited to add it into the cart. And this is the product. It's the azelaic acid suspension 20%. This is so azelaic acid is a retexturizer basically, and that's the category in which I would put this. If it were still my no-buy year, I would consider it to be like an exfoliating acid. I use it kind of as a sleeping mask. So I would consider it to be an acid mask or an overnight exfoliating AHA. Azelaic acid is, I think, billed as being something that's specifically good for redness and also for people who struggle with acne. That's me, both counts. And this is a super silicone-y formula. It's really interesting. I don't find that it layers well as like a daytime skincare item. I really think of this as a nighttime treatment. And for me, it falls into the same category as something like Good Genes. Like when I feel like my skin is kind of acting up, like maybe just a little bit textured, a little bit rough, a little bit bumpy, or maybe it feels like there's a layer, like a tough layer on top that I would really like to exfoliate and turn over. I will, or if I feel like I'm flaring up with like a little bit of extra redness, my skin's just acting up, I'll use this as my last layer, my final layer over top of some oils and creams and stuff, oils and serums, and I'll just sleep in it. I'll put on a pretty thick layer and I'll sleep in it. And when I wake up in the morning, I can really feel that my skin is like calm and smooth. The one thing about this is that it can be a little bit drying in that roll. So if my skin is feeling a little bit irritated and it's also quite dry, I usually won't use this. I usually use this if my skin's starting to feel grumpy and kind of on the like maybe slightly oily or unbalanced side, and it'll help balance it back out. I really like this product. It is again, it's like extra for me. Even though it's only $8, it's $7.90, even though it's only that, I wouldn't have bought it with my own money because I have a bottle of good jeans that I'm still working on. I have other retexturizers right now. So I didn't need it, but it's different enough from my other skincare products that I don't feel like it's a burden in my collection. I don't feel like it's doubling up. It's in that funny in-between role where it feels extra. It feels like a little luxury to me. And so it's special, and it's something that I'm happy that I got to buy with this gift card. But I'm trying to be happy with what I have. So if I hadn't been looking to spend this whole gift card, I would have just stayed happy with what I have, and I wouldn't have thought to buy it. So that's it. Those are the 5 little things that I bought, and I hope that this was interesting to you guys. I feel like in a way it's like a kind of Sephora anti-haul, and actually the Sephora VIB sale is coming up, as many of you know, and I am going to make a video about it that should be going up on Wednesday of next week. It's not going to be the Sunday video because the Sunday video is a special treat, but Wednesday of next week, which will be good timing because it'll be right before the sale, I am going to make a VIB sale recommendations video. And we all know that when I say recommendations, we know what I mean. But in a way, this is weirdly, I feel like a preface to that, because I'm basically saying that I wouldn't recommend. This is like an anti-recommendations video. I feel really lucky to be using these products. I really like these products, but I would only recommend them to someone, again, who has way more money to spend than I do. And I know that some of you are that. I know that there are some of you out there. So maybe this information is actually useful to you as consumers, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm really into everyone spending the amount of money that they're cool with spending, that they're able to spend. I just want you all to know, and especially those of you who are budgeting like me, or if you're on no buys or low buys, that these are all products that in the past I wouldn't have blinked at the prices, and I would have just been like, this is worth it, like, hashtag worth it, or definitely only the best for me, or I'm definitely gonna buy my holy grail, no brainer, like that's how it would have been in the past. And all of these products I only bought because I wasn't paying my own money. And even though I'm currently using them and loving them, I can still confidently say that I won't buy any of them again. So it's sort of like, I'm happy to have them, but it's like the definition of damning something with faint praise. I'm happy to have them because they were free, except for this one. This is the dream of my life. Stuff is so expensive at Sephora. Like, I can't believe that. I'm looking at the stuff before me. Like, this is it right here. 5 little products. And this one's kind of big, but I know it's full of air and it's gonna go really quickly because I'll use it up. And then these 4 little ones, it's so little, and there's so little product in each thing, and it's so little stuff. It's so chintzy and little. And the idea that it was $150 that bought this, it sort of blows my mind, and it blows my mind that I never really used to see it that way. And I think because I'm out of the habit of placing big orders at Sephora, it's really striking me. These gift cards gave me the opportunity to place a big order at Sephora, and I was just amazed when I got the box and opened it at how little it contained for how much gift card I had spent. All right, the helicopters are for some reason descending. I think that means it is time for me to go. That is it. That is how I spent $150 worth of gift cards at Sephora on 5 little luxuries that I pretty much otherwise wouldn't have purchased. I hope this was interesting for you. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself right now so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.